Taleb.
So my talk is not definitely going to be about the future. I know nothing about the future. First of all, let me show you the picture of the book. The American Statistical Association has a special session on the black swan, and that's what they're going to do with my book in August in Colorado. I have to show up to be yelled at. The black swan. What is the black swan? First of all, it's not this wine. And let me explain to you that people, as part of our inability to think, to do second-order thinking, most people buy me this wine not thinking that other people are aware of the black swan wine and the fact that I write black swan. So please, if I ever invite you to dinner or something, please for Christmas, I just had an email today from students at Harvard. They want to piss off the professors by inviting me, of course. And they said we're going to have a reception, and they mentioned this wine. Okay, so it's undrinkable. It's really undrinkable. All right. So what's the black swan? No, honestly, particularly the red wine. What's the black swan? Before the discovery of Australia, we had no reasons to believe that swans could be of any other color but white, or people in the old world. And effectively, there was an expression in medieval England. You'd sooner see a black swan than, say, for example, it was like saying when pigs fly, or when I don't know, when George Bush does something intelligent or something. There was immediately exception. So there was an expression until we saw Australia, and effectively the sighting of a single bird destroyed millennia of confirmation. So it was posed as a logical problem by showing that there's no reason you cannot rule out a black swan because you haven't seen any. Okay, so my problem is not a logical question. My black swan is an event. It's not a bird. And it's an event that has three properties. The first property, it is hard to predict. Very difficult to predict based on information. Am I standing in the right spot? Okay. Based on information before its occurrence, prior information, based on historical information. You have here a sample of black swans. The most interesting one is the tie. Someone's going to forecast the future. We have to forecast that human beings, 2,000 years away, would constrict their blood supply with this device, for example, okay, and attend meetings, okay. So that's very difficult to predict. The computer was a black swan. It changed the world, and nobody thought the computer could do anything. You know, it was initially used for combinatorics. I mean, the Watson from IBM did not think that this tool could have any use. The rise of religions, black swans, totally unpredictable. Harry Potter is a black swan. A lot of cultural phenomena are black swans. To me, the most significant black swan, and the one I'm going to focus next, a few minutes, is the First War. The First War we had after Napoleon, we thought for about 100 years that the world became civilized, and that, you know, people became conscious of the need for peace. And you had this devastating war, the biggest war, something that destroyed, and of course it came in 2 volumes. You had volume 1 and then you had a sequel. So here we have black swans, events of low predictability, high consequence. But the most vicious part is the following one, is that before the fact, they're extremely predictable, but after the fact, you know what? We saw them coming. So we have, this is what I call the retrospective distortion, is these events are prospectively unpredictable, retrospectively predictable. Why? We even have disciplines to give us the illusion of understanding the world, you see? We have disciplines that make us misunderstand the world by giving us this illusion of predictability. History, for example, economics, other such things. Astrology, okay? So we have, and what's the mechanism by which we sort of like have this illusion of understanding the world. The first one is what I call silent evidence. Before, people think that the first war was predictable, particularly if you, I don't know if you have been to school, high school, and they discussed the first war. It appears to result from tension between the UK on one hand, Austria and Germany on the other, okay? So you think that there's tension that led to war. If you see tension, then you can predict war. But you're not looking at episodes of tension that did not lead to war. And there were a lot of episodes of tension before that did not lead to war. And these episodes usually led to parties in Baden-Baden, you see, with opera singers, a lot of champagne, and they get drunk, right? Kings get drunk. Plus, they know each other, so they know how to do it. So you have to realize that after the war, you think tension causes war, but if you're in a champagne business, you realize, think tension causes, drunkenness by kings when they make up, okay? So we have that problem. So let me give you an illustration of this inability we have in looking at what I call the silent evidence, a pool of evidence that did not lead to the same result. The comment made, this is recorded, no? That's even better. By a comment made by a publisher about the success of the Black Swan. And he was explaining it as follows. Look, it has an animal and a color on the cover. That explains the success. Now, okay, so I went on, when I heard that, I said, okay, plain, I'm going to take care of this guy. I looked on Amazon for how many books have animals and colors in their title and on the cover that ended up flopping, okay? And you had plenty of them. I found 69 books with a Black Swan in their titles, okay, that were flops. If you don't hear about them, it's because they're flops. We're not looking at evidence. Plus, of course, you have permutation. Pink, elephant, different colors, different animals, okay? So plenty of books like that flopped. So this is what I call the cemetery of evidence. And for those of you interested in probability, it's a big probability problem because we compute probability based on those who survived, probabilities of survival, not based on the pool of those who started. This is very endemic in the way we analyze the world, the way we understand information, the way we perceive information. Decision-making under uncertainty is completely dominated, okay, with this mistake of taking a pool of information and excluding the rest. So it's what I call silent evidence. Well, you have it on Wall Street. You look at the winners and say they have skills. You don't look at people who have the same sets of skills who end up losing, because these people don't write biographies, you see. They don't say how I lost $1 million. They tell you how they made $1 million. So you have that. So, but the problem is historians